Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your Spirit Guide message reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel out and makes me unbelievably happy, so thank you so much for doing so. If you are interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Virgo, Spirit Guide message for Virgo, Virgo. Spirit Guide message for Virgo, Virgo. Spirit Guide message for Virgo, Virgo. Angels and Spirit Guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and Spirit Guides, angels. Oh, I love that. Spirit just put one right there. Angels and Spirit Guides. Angels and Spirit Guides. Fantastic. So the left-hand side is our inner self. The middle is our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And of course, at the bottom is our rooted self. Yeah, so let's see what they have to say. We have the King of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So, that's interesting. It's our older self and our younger self coming together. We're represented by the Pentacles in the Minor Arcana. We're represented by the Hermit in the Major Arcana. This could also be a father figure coming forward. And there can be a healing around that, but also around the prosperity that we're calling into our lives. Our inner self. The Nine of Wands and the High Priestess. Ooh, Spirit is strong within us. Then we have the Seven of Wands. Right? So we're going to feel like we always have to fight. And then we have the King of Cups coming in. Again, a father sign figure, okay, with the kings. I'm just getting that very strongly from this reading, but it can be just like this wisdom coming forward, right? And we're going to think, I have to fight. And the King of Cups is like, no, you don't have to fight. Step back. Step back and embrace your heart. Step back and embrace your soul. Step back and embrace you. And then the public arena, we have healing after a broken heart. So Spirit knows that we're hurting, and we're absolutely taking this gift of the Ace of Cups because we have the King of Cups right here, but we have the Three of Swords. What we need to do is we need to name our hurts and our traumas and our pain, because by naming them, it's not by naming them we give them power. It's by naming them we see them more clearly, and we actually take that power away. All of a sudden, it's not the boogeyman that can't be named. You know, it's like not like Voldemort, right? That he who shall not be named. It's a name. It's boiled now down to an event, a person, a trauma, a hurt, a pain, a lifestyle that was wrong for us. And it's releasing that sword and now being armed with it. Instead of it being embedded in us, it's now our greatest weapon to use against the world, you know, against the hurts and the pains and the disappointments of the world. So let's look at our chakra energy. Spirit Guide message for Virgo, Virgo. Spirit Guide message for Virgo, Virgo. Spirit Guide message for Virgo, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Universal light. Spirit is saying, let me shine through you. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. Spirit is saying to us, let me shine in you. Let me shine with you. Let me be a part of you. And let this light be a part of us. So it's going to call people to us. It's going to be this healing energy, this loving energy. And that's what we're being told to step into. Even though we're embracing the sacred masculine part of our personality, we also, have the high priestess. So it's also embracing the sacred feminine part of our personality during this time. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. What is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of? What is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the high priest. It's Taurus energy, time frame April 20th to May 20th. It's institutions and conformity. We need to be mindful of this. Now, either it's that we want to rage against the institution, and we need to be mindful that we do kind of need to play within the rules, unless we're going to go like totally off the grid and just do our own thing. And that can very well be an option. But this is also saying, if you don't, there are rules that need to be followed within society and life. But there is this sense here with the high priest. It's like, be mindful of the higher power and be mindful of the alignment to the higher power during this time. That's going to be very important. We need to be mindful of that energy and of that presence within us, because we can have everything feel like such a fight, such a, like, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that, I need to be pushing me forward this way, that we forget the higher power that is a part of us. And that brings us to our rooted self. It's us. Now, it can be a father figure, but it's also us as prosperity and success and bounty, as a king, as somebody who is seen. And we're talking to our Page of Pentacles, to our inner child. And the person who is seeing, who is developing, who is gaining an understanding. Now we're starting to see how we're moving forward towards who we are, towards what we want, towards where we want to be within our lives, within our souls, within ourselves. And that's going to open up a new field for us. That's going to open up a new way forward. The King of Pentacles looks at the prosperity, looks at the interconnectedness, looks at the bigger picture. And that's what we're doing here. We're looking at the bigger picture. We're looking at the interconnection. We're looking at the power. And the Page is saying, don't stop with the curiosity. Don't stop looking at things kind of with a child's eyes, not saying it has to be just this or it has to be just that. It's stepping out of the box, stepping out of conformity into a place that is purely our own, that looks at prosperity, that looks at the seeds that we are planting, that looks at the passion that we're going after and says, this is a part of me. This is who I am and this is what I desire. We can also be working with or have a child who is an earth sign energy, and Spirit is saying connect. Connect because you see them in a way that others do not. You see them in the way that they might not even see themselves, the seeds that they are planting, the passion that they're going after, the purpose that they are embracing. And it moves us to the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is like, I've had enough. I've had enough playing the game for the rest of the world. Now it's time to listen to my inner guidance, to my inner self, to my desire, to my heart, to what I wish for, to what I long for. How do I open that door? How do I step back and say, it's not about everybody else. It is about me. And it's not in that selfish, egotistical way where we all know people who say, well, it's all about me, or who act very profoundly as if the whole world just revolves around them. They're boring. That's a boring way to be. With the Nine of Wands, what we're looking at is saying everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their way that they think life should be lived. And they give this to us. They say, oh, why don't you do it this? And why don't you do it like that? And why can't you be like this? Or why can't you be like that? And that's all well and good. But we have to be who we are. And we have to embrace who we are because of that. And so here, with the staff that we lean on, we're leaning on our passion. We're leaning on the fact that we've made it through the battle. We have this barricade. We need to let the trees grow. We need to let them grow so that they're this powerful, mighty wall between us and the rest of the world, so that we can live our life, have our dreams and our thoughts. And our mind, we might be a little bit confused about things. This isn't going to be a time where we want to make really big decisions right away. We need to step back. We need to consult ourselves. We need to look at, is there inner trauma that I'm going to be making this decision off of, that I should really be looking at and saying, oh, wow, I'm doing this because of what my father said, 15 years ago. And now I'm still fighting that thought within my head. Now I get to start looking at things for me, not for everybody else. And that's where we start to see things differently. And that's where the game starts to change, because the bombardment that we've had before starts to lessen, and we start to connect with us. And it leads us to the high priestess. It leads us to this place of insights coming in. It leads us to greater understanding. It leads us to being crowned by ancient wisdom. This could be the phases of the moon. This could also be the horns of a bull with the moon rising or the sun rising in the middle of it. We have the cross on her chest. We have the Torah in her hands. We have the pomegranates all around her, and the water, the way that her dress itself looks to pool at the bottom of her feet, at this crescent, as the water flows behind her. There's this sense of there's more here than meets the eye. The high priestess sees beyond the veil, sees beyond what everybody wants us to see. And we start to see who we are. We start to see what we desire. We start to see what we want, what we need, what we long for, where it is that we want to be. And we start to call forward this power very personally, very meaningfully, very powerfully into our lives. There's more here. It's not being tricked by everybody's placating words. It's not, falling into that trap of, oh, this is what you're supposed to be. No, it's saying, this is what Spirit is guiding me towards. And during this time, even though we have the kings, and the kings are the actors upon the stage, the kings are seen, the high priestess doesn't mind being behind the scenes. And so as we look at things from behind the scenes, and as we look at things in a much more honest and open way, she doesn't want to be on stage. So there's going to be a part of us that's like, yes, I'm on stage, I'm seen, I'm prosperous, my emotions are being seen, but the real work, the real powerhouse, that's all happening behind the scenes. It's not going to be on the public stage. And it's leading us to the sense of, I don't have to fight every battle. I just don't want to. The Seven of Wands, emotionally, we're going to feel drained, because there's going to be the sense of, if I don't fight, who will? If I don't stand up, who will? But we can't fight every single battle. My great-grandmother used to say that if you step on every stone, you'll never make it to the other side of the river. You just won't. You'll never make it to the other side. So that's just what I'm seeing here. If we step on every stone, if we look at everything that isn't fair or isn't right, or every person who's misunderstood us, or everything like that, we'll never be able to move forward in our lives, because we'll be stuck on that one point until we get everybody to understand, everybody to agree with us, which will never happen. There's always just going to be another battle. Now, this can also be that emotionally we're sensitive. So we're kind of already ready for a battle, because we have this place of hurt and pain. We have this sense of, I'm tired of everybody telling me what to do. And plus, I'm seeing beyond the veil of everyone. So emotionally, things are becoming intense. Things are becoming a lot more meaningful and powerful than I thought they were going to be, and people are being called out. So I'm seeing people for, the skunks that they really are, or for the kind, compassionate people that they really are. And it's emotionally overwhelming and draining and intense. So I'm going to feel like I have to fight. I'm going to feel like I'm going to have to take this knowledge and make it into a battleground. And Spirit says, no, don't do that, because that just drains your power so completely and so intensely that there's a sense of, I lose myself. If I fight every battle, if I make my life just one crusade after another, I lose it. I lose what's most dear to me. And it moves us to the King of Cups, who understands that more profoundly than any other king. The King of Cups says to live your life, to look at what you want, and to live by example, not for anybody else, but for the way that we want our lives to be, for the passion, for the beauty, for the intensity that we want within our lives, our souls, and ourselves. The King of Cups calls that forward, because unlike the King of Pentacles, who's king on earth, and you have a building behind him, so you definitely know that there's people that he's ruling. The King of Cups is in the middle of the water. He has the fish behind him, yes, the same fish that was in his cup when he was a child. Most likely. He's in the water. He's out at sea. He's by himself. And that's what we're going to see here. That sense of, I am by myself. Because I rule only me. We can't control what other people think of us. We just can't. We can try. It's exhausting. I rule only myself. And as I rule myself, I start to see my power. I start to gain an understanding. I start to move forward in ways that I hadn't imagined that I would or that I could. And it brings me to the Ace of Cups. It brings me to God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing me a gift of healing, beautiful love, handing me a gift that brings up a lot of emotions that, okay, maybe I want pushed down, but it's stirring things up. It's kind of like when you stir chicken soup, how everything comes to the surface. It's stirring everything up so that we can get rid of all the things that aren't good for us, all the things that we've been holding in, that have hurt us, that have tried to destroy us, and that have broken our hearts in a million different ways. And we see that. We see the Three of Swords. And the Ace of Cups is saying, it's time to heal. Now we might be feeling a little bit weepy during this time. We might have a really sensitive day. We might, look at things and just think, why is it always so hard? Here's the thing. It's hard for everybody. It's just that we edit our world. We only show people the smiling, happy, beautiful moments. It's kind of like when you take a picture with your kids or with your friends and it's the best moments. It's not showing the fight that you had 5 seconds before. It's not showing the fact that you had to yell at your kid to sit on the couch for the 18th millionth time and to sit still and to not take off their shirt while you're trying to get the picture. It's that. We don't show the craziness. We seldom ever show the craziness. But there is. We show the happy, laughing moments. We don't show the big fight or the fact that the drink spilled all over our dress and it was just a mess. No, we show the great top half of the picture that looks fantastic. And that's what we remember, the fantastic. And that's what the world sees, the fantastic. Life isn't fantastic. A lot of times it is heartbreaking and devastating and overwhelming and not even remotely fair. And so the Three of Swords says, look at the pain. Name the pain. But don't let the pain name you. Don't let the pain take over. Because it can, and it will, if we let it. It's time for the cleansing to come in. The detox, the washing away, the toxicity leaving. The arming ourselves for the battle that is our lives with the tenacity that is our soul. Our subconscious chakra message is the inner child, exactly at our root, our heart chakra. We need to connect with our inner child. Visualize yourself kneeling down, opening up your arms, and the child that you once were, running into your arms for a big bear hug, and telling that child they're safe, they're okay, and that we have them. I will always listen to you. I will always be there for you. I will always see you when you feel invisible. I embrace your heart and your soul and yourself. Saying that to the child that we were is freeing. It's lovely. And then our subconscious energy to be mindful of is a star. Be mindful of what we wish for. Be mindful of the way that we see that wish coming forward. If it sounds too good to be true during this time, Spirit is saying it is. And be mindful of only living in the dreams. The dreams of what should have been, of what could have been, of what would have been. Now is the time for feet firmly planted on the ground. That earth sign energy coming in. Our subconscious tarot message is the Hierophant. So we have to be mindful of a Hierophant, but we also have a Hierophant subconsciously guiding us forward, holding the keys to the eternity of our happiness, joy, and prosperity. The King, the Hierophant, the King of Kings, the Pope in the major arcana can tell emperors what to do. And so we embrace that energy of power, of tenacity, of spirit, of institutions, of conformity a bit. A bit of conformity is going to be really good, especially for earth sign energies. It's kind of like we don't want to go hog crazy, in an extreme. We want things to be grounded and rooted and stabilized and secure. And just opening up the sense of this is me, holistically, authentically, positively, and purposefully. And the King, we need to embrace our strength during this time and our tenacity. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we connect heart, soul, and spirit with spirit. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo.